Hey, what's up, people, man? It's White Boy Lockdown Radio, and I'm back with another one. Hey, before I drop this video, I'm recording this video on a Sunday. I live streamed the UFC fight last night on Twitch. Shout out to Biz and Character Matters, who was in the live stream, and Onyx. I live streamed on Twitch, and I guess I got suspended for 48 hours. Whoop-de-doo. It's just somewhere I play video games on. But just giving you an idea of when I upload this and record them. But look here, man. On this channel here, man, I want to say this before I start the video. There's 3 ways that you can help the channel. You see the shirt in the background. In prior videos, I've talked about merch and this and that. You can go to TEESPRING. It's going to be in the description. You can buy a tank top, a shirt, whatever. I see a little bit of profit off that. You can join the membership. Shout out to all my members. Shout out to all my members. They get all the content first. I'm going to live stream all future fights with them. And, there's a cash app. $ White Boy Radio. I only ask that, man, because hey, this stuff right here is time consuming. You may look from the house and say, hey, look, what are you talking about? You just recording on your phone or your computer and uploading. It's a lot more than that. When this video is done, I got a lot of shit to do with this video and just this one alone. And I try to stay ahead of the game. But hey, look, enough of that. Enough about all that. Pick one and do it. I'm not saying all the time or every time. And if you have donated, I'm not talking about you. But hey, man, look out for your content creators. All right, man. So the title of the video says enough. Me and the war skin, the head over there. We had a bond. I'm sure a lot of people clicked on the video because I'll be speaking about the head. Okay, and just like this subject right here is touchy. Everybody knows that. Okay, I'm not gonna give the ins, I'm not gonna give the outs, but I will tell some stories and try to show y'all the bond, and I guess try to show y'all when I was in, how I went around what other people have to go through, if they have to go through what I did. Okay, but first and foremost, before I say that, I do not promote gangs. I'm not in a gang, and I'm trying to help people with their prison experiences. All right. Now, I've said this before on multiple other videos. Look, I don't know who watches the channel. I don't know if you've never been to jail. I don't know if you have been to prison. I don't know if have been a couple times to prison, like myself. Hey, sometimes it takes people a few times to get it right. Okay, I'm not afraid to admit that. At the end of the day, you're winning. You are winning if you've never been to jail, never been to prison, and never messed your life up multiple times. But if you have, hey, I understand that struggle. If you haven't, it don't make you no less of a person. You are winning. But being said that, the first time I'm in versus the second time I'm in, there's years apart from A to B. So I'll give you some examples of that right quick, just to show you why I had to go that way and that route, and then we'll get on the subject. The first time I'm in, you could smoke. You could literally go buy cigarettes from canteen. You could literally go buy them. I used to buy cigarettes and hustle with it. I used to get this one dude a pack every week, and he'd give me his milk. Say, look, first time I'm in, they had milk cartons every breakfast. Second time, the state deaded it. Okay, another example is weights. First time I'm in, they got weights on the yard. Second time, they took it because of bodily harm the inmates are using against the COs. And lastly, third time I'm in, the first time I went to prison, I had a squad of honkies, man, solid honkies, man. We not even gang related, just stand up white dudes from all all types of cities and towns and counties all throughout Florida. You know, we're behind the wall together, and you know, we're taking all of our stories on the street, coming up, making easy money, whatever, bumping, scrapping, and we're all meat. So yeah, we're a squad, but we don't have no oaths and bylaws or none of that stuff. But second time I'm in, hey man, look, everybody's gang related. I'm talking about everybody, and I think a big part of that had to do with the JIT camps here in Florida. You know, back in the day, my first time around, there was only a few JIT camps built. You know, when I got out, I was out for a long time. I didn't just get out of prison, you know, and mess up and go right back. I was even dumber than most. I got out, did good for a long time, then started messing up, get back in the streets, you know. Then I went back. But you know, the JIT camps, the first time I was in, is only a few built. You know, Florida, and I'm sure this is nationwide, sends a lot of youth to the chain gang, a lot of youth. So they flood the prison system, and the politics in the JIT camps are ridiculous. There are none. You have jitterbugs with minimal gang knowledge, minimal understanding of what they're in, you know, going 100% behind what they think or what they're getting, you know, brought home on or taught on, and they're mixing it, and the politics differ from the adult side. And the adult side usually smash them dudes. Hey, but sometimes you get these jits that'll get in the head of whoever's running stuff at an adult institution and get them to be like, you know, on that or about that or whatever. And hey, look, it gets crazy, man. The best way I can describe it, but you know, meat and potatoes is the first time I'm in and the second time I'm in, totally different. And I'm not trying to see a third time. But you know, so the second time I'm in, shortly into my bid, I landed an E-dorm at Holmes, man. It was I don't know how it is now, but it was a kitchen dorm then, you know, and I landed in with the head of war, you know, the number 2 of war. It was me, and they had an enforcer, but the enforcer had been down like 12 years, and he went home shortly after I got in this dorm. Also in that dorm there was a couple Nazi lowriders, there was another biker. He wasn't affiliated or nothing, but he was a stand-up honky man, and he would ride with us. And we had an Odinist in there, and we had another hammer skin. Okay, now, you know, war skins and hammer skins, they have their differences, but they at least where I was at here, they didn't bump heads. So we were squatted up, man. In this blood, in this dorm, the majority of anybody else was bloods. There was a few G's in there, whether they were G's or they were maniacs or whatever. I forget what they were, but there was just a few of them, three or whatever. You know, but we had some bloods in there, some JIT camp bloods too. But you know, we held it down, man. You know, this is a main institution. So me and the head, we bonded real fast. You know what I mean? And when I say that, man, I had already been down before. You know, not a jail bid, but I had been to prison before. You know what I mean? I'm walking in there with bolts on my, you know, on my shoulder. You know what I mean? So they know I know a little something or whatever. And the politics and you know, the whole bringing home phase for me, you know, I flew right past that, because it's almost as I signed up for pressure. It's almost that I signed up to get in there when something popped off, okay? And I've told some stories about, you know, the dude I was up under, this and that. I've told a few. I'll get into a lot more. But this one right here is about me and the head's relationship. You know, he was a good dude. Okay, everybody has their own reason for, I guess, whatever set they want to join. Okay, you know, for me, man, I wanted to rock with the war boys. You know, I decided not to take the patch, but you know, there was a time where I was all the way on that, man, all the way on that. You know, and me and the head, you know, we were really tight, man. he's a good dude. And people, not my supporters, but I'll have some random haters on here come by and try to say stupid things. But hey, man, you're the one typing. I'm the one speaking. I'm the one that lived it, and you're the one that would never live it. But for you, you know, this dude right here, man, the path that he chose, you know, his sister got raped by a black dude in northern Florida, you know, so he did what he did for his reasons, okay? But you know, he was one of the most solid honkies I had ever met. Solid white dudes I ever met. Stand up as they come. But he had some screws loose in a good way. You know, when you're locked up, man, you're gonna meet some crazy people, some real soldiers. But you know, I really got to know this dude. But he legitimately, man, he wasn't all there in a good way. And what I mean by that, man, is he was bumping, and he had more heart than most dudes that I've been locked up with. You know, I come back. I remember I'm in the dorm one day, and he come back, and he's just grumpy. He's like, man, I busted up a couple boneheads in the refrigerator in the kitchen. And I'm like, what's up, man? What's up? What? You did what? He's like, man, I just crashed them. I'm like, whoa, which one? He's like, the bonehead over there. And he's pointing at the blood. I'm strapping up, man. I'm all nervous because that shit gets real quick, you know. But you know, he would just do random stuff, you know. And yeah, he had plenty of brothers. He could have sent word for me or for whoever else to go to the cafeteria with him, but he'd handle a lot of stuff on his own. You know what I mean? You know, he earned his boots. You know, he was the head. You know, but I'll never forget. I'm gonna tell a couple crazy stories about. I'm gonna call him Tree. It's not his real name, but I'm gonna call him Tree. You know, where I was at, man, and in Florida was the Panhandle, and that's probably a whole different video, man. But you know, look at Florida, look at California, okay? And I'm only using California as an example because the way that Florida's shaped, it's a long state, a tall state, if you will. You know, Texas is big, wide, right? You know, Florida's a long state. I guess it kind of resembles California, except, you know, we look at backwards penis down here, but you know, it's a long state. So if you get sentenced, you know, from the middle of the state down, which a lot of people do, they will hide you, man. And I've spoke about this numerous times in other videos, so I'm not gonna spend any time wasted on this, but it's a long trip. So if you're not from Florida and you're from California, you can relate. You know, if you're, I don't know anything about California, but if you live at the bottom of California and you get sent to the top, hey man, that's a hike. And it's a lot of hours. So Meat Potatoes is, man, the head tried to get away from there a long time. He was at this camp a long time, and his family was far away. You know, he had to deal with that thing with his sister, and I'll never forget. I'm not going to say that on the internet. I never forget. His brother ended up dying. His brother ended up dying. We were locked together, man. He had got the call from a lieutenant, man, one time, and yeah, that was a tough time. But anyway, you know, so, you know, I was in the kitchen, man. I didn't like the kitchen, right? And the reason I didn't like the kitchen, man, because there's a lot of homosexuality in there, you know. I always tried to get away from the kitchen. You know, the kitchen, man, all the sissies and all the punks go in there, and you know, you make one wrong turn at the wrong time and you're gonna walk right into Gobblepalooza, man. They're sucking each other off. You know, they're, you know, you bend the corner, you see two men just airing each other out, man. It's disgusting. I don't even have enough. I can't even word the amount of, I want to say that I hated it, but the feeling that I felt was 10 times the word hate when I would see that stuff. So I always tried to get the hell away from the kitchen, you know what I mean? And so did everybody that I rolled with, you know what I mean? And look, man, if you can get away from it by pulling a power move, then more power to you, you know what I mean? We would get split up in this process, you know, like I just say, we're all in one dorm at a time, and there's nothing better than that, you know. But look, if you could do whatever to get out of the kitchen, you could, then do it. And a lot of us went to the box, confinement, refused to work, whatever it was, but it don't always work, man, because you go to confinement, you get out, you go back to the kitchen. And you know, for the head, man, he just got fed up with it. Like I said, he came back, he was crashing a bunch of black dudes in the refrigerator. You know, we went through that shit a couple times. You know, they used to call him the Grand Wizard or whatever. And you know, he was a real grumpy dude, man. I used to cheer him up. You know, he'd come back from work all grumpy and mad. And I know his history, I know his past. I used to take like National Geographic and cut all the African, you know, black people out and put them on his bunk. You know, he's the head war skin there. You know, I used to put him on his bunk, and he'd come back, and I never forget this type of rank the dude had. You know, he'd come back from work, and as I'm cutting the, you know, the African people out of the magazine and put them on his bunk, you know, the other black dudes around his bunk would be like, hey man, don't do that, don't do that, man, don't do that, man. He's gonna snap, and I'd be laughing, and he'd come back, and everybody around would be watching him walk to his bunk, and they watching me, and I knew him good. They're scared, but it's my bro, you know. And he'd come back and he'd throw it off, but he would smirk and laugh, you know what I mean? He'd come over there and punch him right in the shoulder. He'd be like, "You mofo." But anyway, so I'm going to work one day, and I'm in the kitchen, and my job was, this time at least, was to, you know, when you're in the kitchen, all the dudes who have been in here, y'all already know this one here, but if you haven't been in, I'm gonna try to explain this. When you're in prison, you get your tray, all right? And you take your tray, as you see it right there, you go sit down at one of the, you know, silver tables. You get done, and you slide the tray in the slab. So I caught it, I'd spray it, and I'd slide it, and the black dude next to me would catch it and load it in the dishwash thing, push it through, and stack them, and then push the rack to the dude who got the rack, and then he'd do what he did with it. He covered in plastic and shit, because you don't want germs and stuff, and then you have the squeal bucket. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. I can only imagine how that goes with the Rona right now, but you know, so people are sliding trays to me, you know, and probably had to be about 10-15 people, man, black, white, Spanish, everything. They're like, hey Big Matt, man, your brother snapped. Hey Big Matt, man, your brother's in his underwear. Hey Big Matt, man, your brother went psych. Hey Big Matt, man, your brother's in his underwear. Hey Big Matt, man, your brother's tripping. And real quick, man, the whole psych thing, okay? Listen, that's an overrated thing in prison, okay? It's a overused word. It's very, very, very hard to go psych, you know, unless you're physically eating your own crap, literally, like a brownie, or unless you're cutting yourself or harming yourself, you're not gonna go psych. You know, everybody wants to say they want to go psych. The reason people say they want to go psych is they're far away from their family, or this camp sucks. Okay, that's the reason people go psych. But it's not as easy said as done. It's very hard. These, you know, these jailhouse, these prison medical staff or whatever, they are up on game about you using them to go somewhere. It's common sense. You know, you really have to show them something. So I'm catching the trays and stuff, and I'm hearing all this. And the black dude next to me, man, he's hearing it too. He's just looking at me. He's getting worried because he knows about the slide. And I've covered his back. He's covered my back a few times, but he knew it was coming. I'm like, hey man, I gotta go. I'm like, just give me 10 minutes. And you know, 10 minutes is really all I can slide for, because you know, he's got to catch the trays. Now he's got to spray them. Now it's all on him. It's no more a two-man thing. It's a one. So I slide, and you know, I go to holler at the dude under the head. You know, if you remember from a couple videos back, his name Gas. Okay, tree number 1, Gas number 2. So I say, hey man, what's going on? He's like, man, he snapped, dude. He snapped. You know, and I'm like, what do you mean? He's just like, man, lost his brother, man. You know what I mean? He's snapped. I mean, I'm telling you, he snapped. So what ended up happening is he tried to go psych. Okay. Took all his clothes off except for his boxers, literally climbed the fence and hopped on the roof, okay, of a open bay dorm. Okay, I'm not talking about a T building, which is crazy high. I'm not talking about a facility building, which is, I'm talking about an open bay dorm. Okay, just a long dormitory, a big building, and it's split in 2. You have A and B side. Anybody who's been, you know what I'm talking about, he got on the freaking roof. All right, and they got him. He's in cuffs. They take him to confinement. You know, he went psych, man. He was going through some stuff. You know, you lose a loved one in there, you're gonna snap, man. You know, that's just what it is. Okay. You know, back in confinement, he's back there for cell inspection, and when you're in confinement, okay. Again, he didn't go psych. I can't stress this enough. Going psych is very hard in Florida. Everyone tries to do it because they want to get closer to their family, or they got gambling debts, or they got drug debts. You know, if you go psych, there's a reason why you're going psych. You're either going through something, or you either have a drug debt, or you have a gambling debt, or or you're trying to check in. That's it. Okay, and it rarely works, but he was back there, and this dude's been at this camp a long time. And cell inspection and confinement is like, people, you have to understand, when you go to confinement, you go back there and you lay down, man. You know, that's the prison underneath the prison. Okay, but hey, look, they check up on you. They have to have power still over you. Even though you have broke the rules in prison, they still want to be able to tell you what to do, and there's a cell inspection randomly whenever they do it. And when that comes around, you better have your sheets made up perfect, no wrinkles in it, a nice cuff, pillowcase nice, the cell better be swept and mopped, everything class A, everything perfect. And if your roommate ain't with that, you better slap the dog crap out of him until he gets with the program. So, needless to say, Tree's back there, and the LT at this camp, he was a black dude. Anybody that doesn't know what a lieutenant is, well, this is common sense stuff right here. You got correction officers, you got sergeants, you got lieutenants, you know, you got assistant wardens, you got corporals, you got wardens, you got classification, you got canine. It's somebody in a white shirt. COs, they got a brown shirt, okay? So, it's somebody important. The dude was black. He came to his window, he's got his bed all messed up, everything else. He says, yeah, you know, suck my bleep, you mother bleeping knee bleeper. And, how about that? Still didn't go psych, it's not that easy to go psych, you know what I mean? But hey, look, he was going through something, man, and needless to say, about, 4 months later, he got out the box. And I did what I did for him back there. Whenever I would go to confinement, and whenever he would go to confinement, if it wasn't me personally looking out for him, or him personally looking out for me, shoot something to Viking, shoot something to, Gas, any other brothers out there, they would get us whatever. It could be a seasoning, it could be a ramen noodle seasoning packet, a whole bundle of them like that. That would be like the equivalent to like you getting a random Amazon package on your door and you open it, it's a PS5. That's what that feels like. It's a perfect example. Perfect example. Hey, look, man, me and that head, very cool dude, very solid man. Nothing but love and respect. Like I said, man, This wasn't my first rodeo. It wasn't my first time around. But unfortunately, this second time in prison, you know, I had to roll with somebody. You know, it's not something that I wanted to do. It really isn't. It wasn't something that I wanted to do. And I'm glad that I didn't take the patch. But, you know, I was granted it immediately. Off action, off loyalty, off showing, not promising. You know, stuff popped off, I was there. Like that. You know, I can't tell you how many times I've met dudes who claim that they're solid, and a little bit of pressure pops off, you know, and you're on that wall and they're up under the bunk, or they, you know, the whole dorm gets quiet, people know it's about to go down, they're in the back stall jerking off now, or maybe now they gotta take a crap. Where were you, bro? Oh man, I was taking a crap. You just showed your whole you showed your whole hand right then. I can't mess with you no more, bro. You know, you were cool and you were down and you were talking good up until that point, but you weren't there. I was always there. So I bypassed a lot of the regular route somebody would go. You know, I'm trying to explain this stuff to you, man, and I just want to touch on one thing. You know, a lot of the times, man, people try to compare Florida to other states, and salute to all other states out there. It don't matter if it's if you were claiming wood in there. It don't matter if you were claiming what area, whatever you were claiming in there. Even if you were a solid white dude who didn't get down like that, and you fought for years and you were down for the cause. Let me explain something. When I watch, I get it a lot in my comments. You know, some people will say, "Oh, you know, the West Coast this and that, and you know, it comes from the West Coast and this and that." Yeah, I hear you. But if I was to do time in California, in my eyes, it'd be a lot easier, because there is already a whole bunch of there's black and there's white over there. You know, I mean, I've talked to Viking about this. If I had to do all my prison experience and I was in California, it would be like I'm not gonna say easy, because I never did no time in California, but I would already be squatted up with so many white dudes. Down here, it's a struggle, because it's just a struggle, man. And I don't think I'm ever going to be able to paint this picture on YouTube. So I really don't like comparing states as that. And I'm not saying any state's better. I'm just trying to explain to everybody who's watching this on the internet. In Florida, you really got to pick and choose who you roll with, man, because you'll get disappointed. And the one standing behind you, you know, we have some solid ass honkies here. I'm trying to tell you. But man, look, it's not the same. You know, we got the black, you got the white, yes. But the white that flock to the black for protection, you got the black and you got the white. It's not like this. It's tough. It's different. But hey, look, I don't care. I ain't going back. This one's about the head, man. He was solid, and he was definitely with me down here. He was definitely with me down here. Every second, every day, he went 1,000. Salute. Didn't take the patch for my own reasons, but hey, look, I survived it, and that's all that matters. Look, man, I'm showing y'all a little nip. Can't give it to y'all. Make sure y'all hit that Teespring. Support the channel on however you can do it, man. Whether it's a freaking sticker off the Teespring account, the join members, man, it's like $1.99. Whatever one you pick. Cash App, man, $ White Boy Radio. Hope y'all enjoying the webcam. I'm doing what I can. I'm staying free, and y'all need to stay free. Until the next one, man, you already know what I'm going to say. Stay safe, stay out, and stay solid, man. And stay white, stay proud.